Now, if you earn more than 3,500 Rand per month, but less than 22,000 Rand per month, and you never owned a property before, you might want to sit closer and take notes, because you could qualify for a finance-linked individual subsidy program, or FLISP for short. That's the name of the housing subsidy that you can get from the Department of Human Settlements. And to explain who qualifies and how to get your hands on that subsidy, I'm now joined by FLISP experts Anele Matekane and Brian Mabota. Anele, Brian, welcome to All About Property.
Thank you for welcoming us.
Now, I think let's just understand first. Anele, I want to start with you. What exactly is FLISP?
FLISP is financed linked subsidy. By the word itself, it means it's a subsidy that one gets from the government. You do not need to pay it back. It's finance linked, meaning that there ought to be a portion of the property you are buying that is financed through the financial institutions.
So in other words, once you have a home loan, you can apply for this subsidy.
Yes, you can either do this while you've gotten approval from the home loan or while in the process. Depending on the province, each province has different criteria on when to apply. But the most important things, and they're all common about, it's before registration, you can apply. The minute you get that, what they call an AIP, approval in principle from the bank, or a formal approval or grant in other banks, then you can apply for a FLISP subsidy.
Now, I'd like us to chat a bit about that in more detail in a minute. But let's just quickly find out from Brian. What is the criteria? Who qualifies for this government housing subsidy?
Cornelius, the criteria for accessing the subsidy are relatively easy. It's limited and it is available to South African citizens. That is number one. Okay. And of course, that the income is limited between 3,501 and 22,000. Now, of course, the income needs to be, it can either be a single income or joint. So
a household income, if it's a husband and a wife, they cannot earn jointly more than 22,000.
Than 22,000, so correct.
But a single person can also apply.
That is correct.
Okay.
If it is a single person, then the applicant must have financial dependents. Now, those financial dependents can either be children, or it can be stepchildren. It can also be parents who are financially dependent on the applicant. They must be married. If they are not single, they must be married. And another one of the main criteria is that it's not available to you only buying vacant land.
So you must buy a property. Yeah,
you must buy an existing property, or you must apply for a building loan, a plot and plan situation. Then where you buy, then of course the subsidy can also kick in. And those are the main critical criteria that you've got to have in order to access the subsidy.
Now, Anele, let's just quickly come back to that finance linked.
Yes.
I think just explain to us that process, because you say you can only apply for this subsidy when you have an existing home loan, or once you have been approved for a home loan.
Yes.
So what is the process for that home buyer? He goes out, he views a property, he sees something that he likes, he makes an offer. What happens next?
You got an approval from the bond. Now, the timeline, once you got an approval, you need to quickly go to FLISP to apply. The reason being, certain provinces, we need to apply before registration.
Okay.
Once it's registered, you won't qualify anymore. In some provinces, they give it up to 12 months, some to 3 months after registration. So the minute you get your approval from the bank, you collect your ID, your proof of income, your approval from the bank, the OTP, as well as your proof of financial dependence. You visit your nearest human settlements, they do the filling of the documents, and then you do your submission.
Let's move on. Talk to us about the minimum and maximum amounts that people qualify for.
Yeah, the amounts earning from 3,501, the subsidy amount is 122,000, which is the big, the capital amount.
That's a nice amount.
It is a fantastic amount, of course. And then it reduces as your income or as the household income increases, reaching up to 20,000 for a person earning 22,000 rand.
Now let's talk about these benefits. I think, Anele, so we briefly mentioned earlier, so you can use it as a deposit.
Yes.
What else can you use this subsidy for?
You can use it for a deposit. You can even use it to pay your transferring and registration attorneys. However, that's only applicable at this stage only in the Western Cape.
Okay.
Other provinces do not allow payment of transferring or attorney fees, they call them. So it's all in that. So there are the two things that you can use it at this stage: the deposit or reduction of your debt. For example, let's say one has a 100% bond covered. They do have their own funds to pay for the attorneys. It means that 50,000 now you'll be getting, it's gonna go directly into your bond account. On your bond account now, it's gonna reduce your capital. You need to visit your bank, and then they can be able to do what they call a restructure of debt, meaning that they will say, out of the 100,000 bond, you've paid in 50 now through the FLISP subsidy. Please recalculate my monthly installment, meaning that now the applicant will benefit on month-to-month basis on ensuring that they're able to pay less in terms of installment. Option number 2, the money goes into the bond itself, and the applicant can still keep the same installment they were paying before, but the term will automatically be reduced because the capital now has reduced significantly. And by them paying the contractual installment as initially contracted, it's going to be able to reduce the capital and interest quicker than before.
Okay, now I can just hear viewers going, now where is this Department of Human Settlements? Where do I go knock for this money? But you guys offer an online service.
Yes.
Where you assist people with their FLISP applications.
Yes, we do.
Anele, talk to us about that.
On our website, we've got two components. As I've mentioned, that it's a finance linked, meaning that one needs to know how can they buy, meaning that the pre-qualification. So when one signs on our platform, they do that part immediately. Within 10 minutes, you're able to know exactly how much you qualify. On our on our platform as well, you are able to see on how much you can be able to get from FLISP. And thirdly, a consultant, once you've done your registration, will contact you within a day to tell you, Cornelius, you've signed on. This is how much you're pre-qualified for the property, and this is how much you're able to get in terms of FLISP. What are your circumstances?
Okay. Now we're almost out of time. Brian, any last thing that you want to add?
I think the main thing is that the subsidy, the finance-linked individual subsidy, is definitely to a benefit to clients, which government is giving them free money, you know. And I think if you
I like that free money.
It is absolutely like that, and it gives you that buying power for you to increase your capacity to buy, but also to negotiate a better interest rate, you know, for example, from your financier.
So I love this. Instead of standing in long queues at government departments, keeping your 2-meter distance, you can just apply online at flisp.co.za.
Yes, got it right.
Well, Anele, Brian, thank you so much for your time. Lovely having you on the show.
Thank you very much.